It's easy to overlook just how prevalent corn is in our everyday lives. But for proof, just head to your neighborhood grocery store. There, you'll find corn in a full 3/4 of what's inside, from ketchup to soft drinks to pretty much the entire meat department, since they're all raised on the stuff. And with those grocers stocking up for Super Bowl Sunday, the men and women of our corn industry are working double time to ensure that America's main ingredient is kept in steady supply. That's why, in St. Joseph, Missouri, Lifeline Foods has placed an emergency order for 30 more tons of it, due at the mill in just a couple hours. But before that happens, Farmer John and his son John Jr. will need to fix a busted chain on their grain vacuum.
Well, the drive chain power comes down your PTO shaft, runs across the chain down to the gearbox and runs the unloading auger that puts the grain in the truck. And so that's important.
Lucky for John Sr., he has a spare chain on hand.
There we go.
But installing them could be a little tricky.
Okay, this goes behind that other sprocket. Can you pull on that spring? Where's my connector at? Yeah, whoops. Watch your fingers. Got her.
Get her in there?
Yep, it's in. Gotta get the clip on. How come I'm underneath here? I can't see and I'm old. All right, it should be good. Yeah, that should be good. It's tight. Got the chain on, got the spring on.
With the grain vacuum fixed, theoretically anyway, John can finally set about transferring 30 tons of corn from storage into his trailer.
This is the intake hose, suction hose. We'll use it, get the corn out of the tank here. Oh! We got her. All right, you ready, John?
Yep.
See if it works.
But it seems that grain vacuum chain isn't the only thing in need of maintenance today, a fact evidenced by a conspicuous shortage of corn in this tub.
My belt is slipping.
Meanwhile, back at Lifeline Foods, head fabricator Tom Hayden is having technical difficulties of his own, specifically with a magnet responsible for catching any metals that find their way into the mills. Can't have that. So, until the issue is fixed, this particular mill, known as the wet mill, is down.
This magnet needs to stay sealed tight so the product doesn't come out, and they busted a hinge on it so the magnet's wanting to open up. So this magnet has to be fixed as soon as possible.
For that, Tom heads to his rather sizable part shop in the hopes that he has a spare one on hand.
See if I have a hinge over here that we can make work.
But it seems he may be fresh out.
All these parts that we have here, and I can't believe we don't have anything to fix a magnet with.
Then again, they don't call Tom the head fabricator for nothing.
I'm just gonna have to make it. I need to find a 3/8 rod, a hinge, which I don't have any, but I'll come over here and see if I can find something. It's gotta be a long bolt, probably something like this with a shoulder on it. And so this will work. We're gonna make this order no matter what it takes, but we will make this work.
Luckily for Tom, things seem to be going a lot smoother over at the dry mill, where manager Kyle Ham even has time to conduct some routine spot checks on the mill's 14 sifting machines.
This is our sifter floor. One of the things that we do is we grab a stream and we'll check our production streams, see if we have any granulation issues, and then if we do, we gotta go work that section.
Granulation issues basically occur when larger grains find their way into finer ones, usually by way of a hole in one of the screens. And when that happens, it can throw the final product out of spec. But with nearly 300 screens constantly shaking, the odd rupture is bound to happen sooner or later.
Well, this one's got a hole. We shouldn't see any on top of this screen, and there's quite a bit If the hole's big enough and enough screens have a hole, then it's going to put his product out of spec for what the customer wants, and then they won't take it, and then that puts us behind.
To nip this issue in the bud,
Chuck, you got a copy?
Kyle calls in some backup.
Yeah, come over to 916. We're going to go ahead and work this section. Go ahead, Chuck, shut this sifter down. We're going to go ahead and open it up. We got to take every single one of these out. We got to check every single screen for holes. Sometimes it'll be pretty hard to spot them. Usually we'll take them out, look for the really bad ones, and as we're going through, kind of look a lot closer to find the holes, or else everything we're making is of no use.
And as dry mill manager, Kyle knows better than anyone, it's best that they work fast.
So while we're doing this, the whole mill is down. We're not running any corn. We cannot do anything till we get this fixed and back up and running.
Unfortunately, the holes in these screens are proving more elusive than usual.
It's not a hole, it's dented. I'm not seeing anything yet. Tell it's here though. Nope. You okay? Yeah. Hold on, man.